But she started crying to me. She was crying because of what this guy said to her. And that's just not what we're all about here. Like, you bring us your concerns, we tell you how to fix them, and that's it. Another episode of
Unfilter It with China
and Lindsey. Today we have one of our bestie esties, Rose Belson, on here with us. She works with us at the Med Spa. Her services are amazing, and
we're so excited.
Yes, we're so excited to have her on, and even just to work with her. I love Rose so much. I've known her for so long, so let's just let her do a little introduction of herself so you could know a little bit about her, and then we will roll the questions.
Yeah, Rose, who are you?
Well, I've been with the practice. I've actually known Lindsey a really, really long time, since I started here back in 2013. I've been with the company for many years and really kind of grew and evolved into a skincare role. So I have a lot of experience just overall with plastic surgery and just what I've been exposed to, knowing all the surgeons from when we had 4 to like having 1 billion now. So, hard to keep track, but yeah.
What made you want to switch your role from like more coordination to skincare?
Honestly, I saw that skincare was, my mom worked for a dermatologist growing up, so skincare was always really kind of like something I always had an interest in. So that's where like my passion came from. I feel like being in plastics, aesthetics, and seeing patients really struggle with scarring or post-op care and, kind of like the over-the-counter things that, they're so used to recommending that,
like CeraVe.
Yeah.
Like CeraVe.
There's so much better stuff.
Don't come after me, CeraVe, but
we're not plugging
our favorite.
Yeah, but it's that's kind of where I had my vision. I wanted to do something more with the company, be more patient interactive. And I really love making people feel good. So
I think that's what it is. I think Rose has been with the company forever now. The first half of her time here was really patient coordination. And I think that, and a part of any of us that become providers, we just want that experience with the patients.
Yeah.
And then we think about what we love and how can we bring it to them. And I think that's, how you wound up where you are now. And it's great. Rose is doing good. She always stays on trend with anything that's coming up. She loves to try new products. I think one of my favorite things about Rose is that she will use many different modalities for you. So it's very customized, just like how China and I customize, any filler or lasers or anything like that. Rose will customize treatment for you where it might be she's doing lymphatic drainage using the jet peel. Then she's doing a hydrofacial on you. Then she's giving you an awesome massage so you could actually relax and, take a second for yourself because we never do
I
that.
do really love that too. Yeah. Like coming from other practices and like seeing
There's
other
no
things out there.
There's no massage anymore.
Yeah, but beyond that, like it what we have and what you guys provide is not that like cookie cutter, I'm going to give you a hydrofacial, step 1, 2, 3, and then you're done. Like it is very tailored to the experience, and like you basically walk out of there looking like a glazed donut.
Yeah, we're very bespoke. Is that
the term? Yes, it is. That's what I was going to say.
That's a great word.
So Rose is our bespoke esthetician. Bespoke esty.
I love it.
Yeah. I enjoy. I love collaborating with you guys. Number one, that's like I was so bored before, and just being able to kind of bridge that gap between aesthetics and skincare. They just go hand in hand. So.
They are together. I consider them as one. I try to really tell my patients now, if you're spending all this money on injectables and lasers and all this, you need to take care of your skin.
100%.
Like, you can't bake a cake and then not ice it. So it's literally just like that.
Do you remember the little subscription boxes of like skincare when we were probably like, it was probably like,
no, I was like
proactive.
Oh, that was like proactive or like horrible safe.
When I
know what it is.
I used to love new skincare products. I used to get like the Ipsy subscription box, and they used to send you like sample sizes of all. And I just loved it when I was younger. So I feel like I've always had an affinity to like mixing what we do and skincare, and like we're not the ones that are capable of providing the services like Rose does. So it's really cool to have that collaboration.
It's amazing. And then so it really works back and forth. Rose will talk to her patients if they're worried about, you know, they're scared about getting injectables or didn't know that maybe that might be something that they want. So it's really, really good collaboration at It Aesthetix that we have. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about your top 3 favorite services.
My top 3 favorite services. I mean, I love Hydrofacial. It's such a universal, like all-inclusive type of facial. So that to me, it's for everybody. There's no downtime. You glow for days. It's very customizable. You can dermaplane with it. You can, you know, customize the peel if you want to, you know, get creative. You have someone a little more seasoned that wants that extra exfoliation. So that's a great facial. Second favorite, I'm going to go off modality.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's, you know, that's kind of what
That's what we
everybody,
love.
I love hand, you know, hand pieces and stuff and doing that exfoliation, but I also love doing just a manual peel. So using a great product or, you know, just having a good exfoliation is key. So you can really, you know,
I feel like it gives you like a fresh canvas too. It's like a fresh start.
Do you like to dermaplane before you peel?
I do. I love the dermaplane. It gives that just extra level of exfoliation. Everybody leaves like, oh my God, my skin feels like
It's like
a baby's butt. You know, it just,
Like
it really does.
So let's
like
talk
granite.
about dermaplaning for a second. Rose, can you tell us the difference between like dermaplaning in your chair versus your over-the-counter, like go to the Harmons and get a razor?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm guilty. Before I even like did skincare, I would buy like, I was a little above, I think, Sally's and like stuff like that. But I knew I needed like
No offense to
a
Sally.
surgical blade. So I ordered them on my own without doing it through here. And this was like COVID time. So like nobody was going anywhere.
The struggle was real.
struggle.
Times are tough.
Yeah. You just got what you got. All right.
We did what we had to do.
So, but even those are better than the ones at Sally's and you know, over the counter and things like that, only because they, you know, you don't see it, but it's creating like little tears in the skin. I actually just had a friend, she lives in Dallas, and I always go over skincare with her.
Yeah.
She's like, I use this blade I got from wherever she got it from. And now I have all these tiny bumps everywhere. And I'm like, well,
This is
this is why. You're using the blade isn't sharp enough. It's dull. I mean, even when you use a dermaplaning blade, like we use Dermaplane Pro number 1, sometimes you even have to switch the blade.
Yeah.
Like you have to
It's the
kind of
same
switch the
for
blade in
the hour.
between.
Or a needle.
It's dull.
If it's dull, change
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to like know, you know, and common person just doesn't know or doesn't realize when
So
something's dull.
explain a little tidbit about what dermaplaning is, just so for anybody listening that doesn't know.
So dermaplaning is getting rid of that vellus hair, peach fuzz hair. It's not good for terminal hair. If you have like, you know, hormonal terminal hair, that kind of stuff, I would send to you guys for
Call
some
Lindsey for
laser hair removal. Yeah.
Laser beams.
Yeah. Which I have to say, I never lasered here until I've been here for 10 years, finally lasered, and it's, you know, amazing. Like, why didn't I do this?
Right? I know you're like, with a waste of
What's
time.
wrong with me? But yeah, so going back to dermaplaning, it gets rid of this vellus hair, peach fuzz. If you have, you know, any dry skin, if you're like post Fraxel or post peel or post microneedling, you get like that small shed of, you know, skin, that cell turnover, that irritating kind of dead skin, flaky skin when you self tan.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it dries your skin out.
Yeah.
And it's great, like, if you have an event to go to, because
Yes.
especially if you're
makeup.
getting your makeup done,
Yes,
right?
I see a lot of
For
brides.
guests.
Yes.
The makeup just sits so nice
Yeah.
on freshly dermaplaned skin.
It does.
Fondant.
It's help with it's
Apparently
good
I
for
wanna
a lot of things.
Definitely.
Yeah. Products penetrate better.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's- yeah.
anytime I got dermaplaning, sorry, it was like a pile of Yeti that came off of my
Yeah.
face.
I think
really
people
is.
are surprised to
Yeah.
see, right?
They're like,
Wow.
oh, that was on my
Yeah.
face.
And you really have to be, you know, careful too. I'm very close to people when I dermaplane, and I try to get every last little hair. So, you know, you have to be careful also on how you dermaplane, the angles you dermaplane. You could easily, you know, hurt somebody, but that's why you want to go to someone that knows what they're doing, has the training, using the right products, using the right tools, and the at-home stuff. Yeah, not great. Not great.
No bueno.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's talk about something I think that pertains to us as well in the non-invasive aesthetics land, as it does for the estheticians, is the types of patients that we come across. So we come across a couple different types of patients that we like to categorize as into committed or not so committed.
Yes.
So Rose, tell us like your experience with patients maybe that are newer into the aesthetic realm as far as skincare goes. And yes, I'm talking to you guys who use Dove.
I see a lot of Dove. I see a lot of Dove. Surprisingly, more than CeraVe.
Talking to you, surprise.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess the definition of committed versus, you know, a casual client. So someone casual maybe, you know, doesn't have a skin concern or is just doing it for
An event.
a fluff situation or an event, you know, and that's all fine too. But if someone's, you know, has a major skin concern, is using the wrong products, doesn't take our advice, that's the kind of casual client that, you know, we don't really love to see, because we're trying to make that difference. You know, your guys are trying to.
I think sometimes it's the same for us.
Yeah.
If someone wants to come in, let's talk about our non-committed patients. And it's everyone can be committed at any level that they choose, and that's okay. But I think what happens sometimes is the patient comes in, they get their treatment with us, and then they think it's just going to last forever and be great, where you need to also do some work at home.
Right, there's
100%.
definitely homework.
Yeah. And it's the same thing in the surgical realm. You have your surgery. Your recovery is also based on you.
Right.
You know, like surgery is surgery. You know, surgery's done the same.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
You know,
permanent. I mean, sort of, but.
But it's like, you know, how you recover,
Yeah.
you need to follow your instructions
Yeah.
after. So for you, they need to follow our instructions afterwards. They need to follow the skincare that you
And a lot of the
or
thi-
they're back next month with the same problem.
And a lot of the services too kind of marry each other. So like if you're on a very basic level, you're coming in for your Botox, right? And if you're my first time toxin patient, I'm always asking you like, hey, what are you doing to your skin at home? And you tell me that you're doing Dove, CeraVe, I hand you our kit and say, nope, this is your new big girl skincare routine.
Yes.
And then the next step is to see Rose.
Yeah.
And get on a regular regimen of facials, because not only is the homework important at home, but like maybe tell us like why is it that regular facials are so important?
Well, regular facials are important because you're not getting that level of exfoliation at home. So, you know, as we age, and we're all aging, it's unfortunate, but it's happening. So
We don't want it to
we don't
happen.
want it to happen, but we have the tips and tricks to kind of slow down the process, or you know,
Or even
make the
reverse it.
process as enjoyable as possible. So, you know, if someone can't make it in monthly, then at least getting on a really good regimen, to, you know, maybe come in every other month, or, you know, treat themselves, or, you know, it's not necessarily commitment to having to come in every single month and, you know, spending money and getting facials with us every single month. It's about, you know, really being committed to products, using the right stuff, you know, and what's right for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most expensive, and it doesn't have to be the cheapest, but it's about, I just talked about this with one of my clients, about really knowing what you're using. And you know, the products we carry are mostly medical grade, and the reason for that is because they're regulated by the FDA. There's science behind them, there's clinical studies, and that's kind of, you know, why we choose them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought that goes into every product we bring in, and they go hand in hand. Like the hyaluronic serum that we use goes hand in hand with, you know, keeping your filler lasting for as long as possible. So
Or at least giving you the maximum result
Yeah.
of your treatment.
Yeah.
And having it degrade in a natural process that's prolonging your result.
yeah.
What do you think? What would you say for someone that wants to start to be better with their skincare? What would you say would be the bare minimum? So for facials, and then, you know, they sometimes patients, they get like nervous with like so many products at once.
Yeah.
So let's do like a bare minimum, like, you know, if you want to really you're say it's a bride or something that's never done anything, they're getting married in a year,
Or
you
groom.
know, or groom, whatever. Someone that's getting married or whatever, just someone that wants to start skincare. So what would you recommend? How often of facials, and then just what types of products should they get off the bat?
So, you know, I guess it depends on if they have something going on. You know, if someone's coming to see me for the first time and it's 2 weeks before their wedding and they have, you know, crazy acne going on, it's really going to be impossible to clear that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something you have to see months before, even like a year before.
Yeah.
So if you have a skin concern like that and you know you have an event or a major event, then that's something you need to address, you know, sooner than later, because we can get you on a good facial routine monthly for sure, and get you on better products to kind of get that situation under control. And if someone's just, you know, doesn't have a wedding or anything like that, just wants to get on a better regimen, just coming in, doing a consult, you know, going over your goals, you know, everybody has different concerns, like something that we may see that we think would bother you, it doesn't bother you. So, you know, you may have something else that bothers you. So it's really about being able to get on the same level with your client, same page, and really coming up with a good overall plan. And that's when we start recommending products.
And I think that's huge. And I like that you brought that up, because I've had so many patients throughout the years that have come from other practices that have gone in for consults and are now seeing me for a consult because some other provider shredded them.
Yeah.
I even had someone come in once and said that the doctor that she saw, he told her that she needed this full face reconstruction, which would like with plates and screws, that would cost her 50 grand. So I'm like, and she's like, I just wanted a little Botox.
Right. And I've had clients like that too.
But she started crying to me. She was crying because of what this guy said to her. And that's just not what we're all about here. Like, you bring us your concerns, we tell you how to fix them, and that's it.
Yeah. I honestly start people very conservatively, just like, what are you using now? You know, don't expect, I never have someone come in and like, all right, well, throw everything out that you have at home, and unless it's like really awful, but you know, stop using that. But if it's something like, let them get through whatever they're getting through, and then we kind of add it and let's see what we can tweak, and you know, try to manage it that way.
You anyway. Work in new products slowly. Make sure you don't have any reactions.
Definitely. So my third favorite, you know, this actually could be tied for first, honestly, but just in the event of asking for three, the third thing I love is microneedling, for sure. You compare it with so much different things now. So I love to microneedle with injectable grade hyaluronic. It's one of our products that I like to use. It calms the skin, hydrates, it lowers your skin's temperature by a degree. So when you're feeling hot, you know, kind of irritated from microneedling, that really helps
That's
out.
a good way to describe it. It does have like a heat sensation, even though you're not using heat. Similar to like tattoos.
Yeah, because it's like the needle. So just explain a little bit about, for everybody listening, what microneedling device we use, and then just like a little, just so they know.
So we use the skin pen, and I love the skin pen. It's so user friendly. It literally is. You know, once we get you a little numb, just to take the edge off. Honestly, I've done it on myself with 5 minutes of numbing cream. 5 minutes. I was impatient, so I've done it with barely numbing cream, and it was really tolerable. So it's a really adjustable pen. You can adjust the depth, and it's amazing. It really improves fine lines, wrinkles, that collagen and elastin it's creating over the course of a year. Just one session, I've seen incredible results from one microneedling session on someone who had deeper, you know, lines around the face, and I just love doing it. It's fun to do. It's probably my favorite thing to do.
How do you feel about the new trend of microneedling and chemical peels?
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done that yet, but I do. I think it could work for someone who's, you know, who's a little more seasoned, who can tolerate it, who can expect the downtime. You know, even though we go over pre-op what's going to happen, we tell them the protocol after. They're still like, why is this happening? So you have to, you know, really know your client and know that they can tolerate it. But I think it's great. I think that, you know, if the deeper you can penetrate a peel, the better, because that's
the whole point.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Do you think that would help more with melasma patients?
I
Or
think
not so
so.
much? Yeah.
We have a couple serums that are good for melasma. Actually, the Bio Repeal, they have
that one's
they
good.
have
I
a
like
serum
that.
that's really good for melasma. That's good for rosacea. Like, one would think like that's not good for me. I have rosacea. I'm reactive. I'm red, and it's actually the opposite. It's the opposite. It actually is much better. Yeah.
Okay. Microneedling, love it.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So after microneedling, so patients know, anybody listening that's interested, you're a little red and scratchy for like a day or two. It's really not that bad. It's one of the, I would say, it's really like one of the only, I don't want to call it downtime.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
barely downtime.
But, you know, something that you could do to get a little deeper on
Right.
your skin and not do it, you know, if you want something to level it up from a facial.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Skin pens.
I think
Love
anything
it.
you do that causes a little feather ruffling,
Yes.
you know something's happening. It's like nothing's going on, then
Nothing's
nothing's going on. You want something happening, so it's a good feeling. You feel tight. You feel like it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Skin
Yeah.
pen's great.
So, Rose, if you were stuck on an island with only one product to bring with you,
This was my next question.
what? See,
We're the-
great minds think alike. What product would you take with you?
Hold on, I want to think if I could guess what
On
we're
an
going to say.
island. Is it a hot island?
It's just an island.
One product. I would probably say the trio.
No, Rose loved it.
I'm a trio
Trio.
queen. I am. I love it. And I just count on the trio
said the Hydrinity spray.
I mean, that's good too. I mean, I have a lot. I don't know. That's a really
What would
loaded
your
question.
What would your product be, Linz? What on an island?
What would I bring? Draveau, obviously.
That's the skincare product.
For me, honestly, you know what I really love? I love my Skin Better little compact, that sunscreen.
I love
tinted.
this.
I
was gonna say
like sunscreen.
I was gonna say Hydrotin because
Oh, I love that.
yes,
too.
like that would be. I feel like
I'd have to live in the shade.
we recently just
we need a
went
shady
to.
island. First
We
of all.
recently went to a derm conference and they said like the number one anti-aging is sunscreen.
SPF.
Yeah.
So
it
if you
is.
could get sunscreen that has hyaluronic acid in it and
I'd have
a little bit of
tint.
tint, I'm
You're
in.
on
I know. It is that's my favorite.
That's what I have
Yeah.
to bring. I burn
Yeah.
so bad. I would
Yeah.
need sunscreen.
Yeah.
All right, so my next question for Rose is my daughter is telling me about this new trend of girls, I guess teenage girls. I forget what she said they're called, but they're the teenage girls that love to go to Sephora and they're all like Drunken Elephant and all this and whatever skin product it might be.
Ironically, my daughter's one
Is
of
she
them.
one of them?
But I won't let her use the retinol. And I think
But
it's
they're-
yeah.
ridiculous
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm like, do you not know what your mother does for a living?
Yeah.
I can get you the good stuff. We don't
Yeah.
even need Sephora.
So I think what is important to put across is what do you think a teenager would need?
I mean,
What do we have that say there's a mom whose teen, you know, is starting to break out?
Yep.
What type of little kit can they come and get for her? So they're not stuck in Sephora getting these outrage. We've had patients
Yeah.
that have reaction to these things.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
I mean, if they're starting to break out, starting to have acne, then you want to get them on something that's going to kill that bacteria.
The
Medical
light-
grade
how's the light that we
LED
have?
lights are great. There's definitely some. I'm not a huge fan. I actually never really shopped at Sephora or Ulta or anywhere like that for skincare. I think they're overpriced. I think that they're trendy. I don't really care
think
for their
that's
formulations.
That's an important point to make because I
Yeah.
think that people hear the word medical grade skincare and they automatically think that everything
It's
is
expensive.
$200.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oh,
like
yeah, it's not.
sometimes
at Sephora.
at Sephora it's more.
I never walk
expensive.
out of Sephora using makeup. Buying makeup less than $300.
Oh,
It's like
yes, it's
highway
insane.
robbery. It really is. It really is. So I mean, if they see a cute little, if they're young, as long as they're not using any actives at that age, like, you really have to be careful with that. Their skin is fragile. They don't need actives.
And the actives would actually just cause more of a reaction because they're
terrible.
gonna be like
they're gonna be photosensitive.
Yeah.
They're not putting sunscreen on religiously,
I
like
feel like
we
these
do.
kids, they need a cleanser,
Yeah.
maybe a moisturizer if they're dry.
I mean,
and
my
SPF.
15-year-old son who plays sports like has breakouts, and it's funny because when he washes his face, it's completely clear. And then when he doesn't, he gets these little congested breakouts. So like, for him, I'm like, use a cleanser, and I really love that Hydrinity spray.
Yeah, kills the
Spray is
bacteria.
amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's
Especially for sports.
yeah,
Especially
That's what
for
I was
sport.
Yep. I see a lot of teenagers, not so young, where they're in that Sephora stage. I have
Yeah.
one of our surgeon's daughters come. I dermaplane her lips. She's so little. I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna die if I cut her, you know.
Like, don't cut her, don't
But
cut her.
she's, you know, don't want to wax her. You know, her skin is just so
Beautiful.
so yeah, it's
Developed,
just
not mature enough.
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
gone through. You know, they don't need cell turnover. They have it.
Right.
That's what we need.
Right. That's what you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God taking our step. Like,
Their cell turnover is so much faster. It's still happening rapidly. We have to, you know, we need those products, so they don't need those products.
So note to the parents of these teenagers,
Yeah.
and we being those parents, don't let your kid have a retinol or anything with like strong acids in it, because you're potentially causing a problem for them.
Yeah.
Right.
they will be
Yeah.
red. They will
Yeah.
be dry. It'll be worse.
Preach
Bring
skin
them in.
sunscreen.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's one thing that
Sunscreen.
you know could be passed down into generations. The amount of skin cancer we see. I mean, I've seen it in 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
We've had 18-year-olds, teenagers, and it's a lot more common. But sunscreen is number one. If that's something you want to give your kid, give them some sunscreen.
Stocking stuffer.
Yeah, a good one.
Yeah.
Lasted.
I like it. So
Yeah.
take care of your skin, folks.
Yeah.
See Rose. Make your appointment.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Follow us. Subscribe.
See you next time.
Catch us in the next one of Unfilter It.